April 7th, 2026. This is the day that PlayStation fans were supposed to see that the grass was greener on the other side. But look at this. This is Bethesda we're talking about. So instead of a galactic masterpiece that they claimed Starfield was, of course, they got a crash course in disappointment. Literally, while Bethesda promised literally the ultimate version of Starfield for the PS5, what we got was a port so unstable it made the original 2023 Xbox launch look like a polished gem. So I want to just go over the PlayStation 5 Starfield launch because this is honestly terrible. Like, I didn't even want to buy it for the PlayStation 5. I didn't, but what I saw was so bad. But if you guys don't know me by now, I'm Mr. Frosty Flames, but you can call me Mike. We do anything gaming, analysis, reviews, playthroughs, etc. So if you like that content and you like that chill sort of vibe, chill but angry because we're passionate about games, if you like that non-over editing BS stuff, right, you could listen to me like a podcast. And if you like that stuff, make sure you subscribe and join the Frosty Flames Legion. We're aiming for 1,700 subs. We just hit 1,600 and I'm so happy, and I appreciate you all. Anyways, let's get back to the video. Alright, so why do I think that the PS5 port is a failure? And it's kind of obvious if you just look at the situation as a whole. Despite 3 years of development and the power of the PS5 Pro, the game is still suffering from hard freezes that require a full system restart. I've seen people posting online that Starfield is literally bricking their console. Like, I mean bricking it, where they can't even go to the dashboard. They have to unplug their system or hold the power button for however long to turn it off. And for Starfield to do that shows that it's severely unoptimized for the PS5. Like, that is so egregious. And on top of that, there's a huge refund scandal going on with Sony. It's something similar to the Cyberpunk 2077 situation. So basically, reports are surfacing of Sony's support lines being flooded, and I mean a lot of people really want Starfield to be refunded for their accounts, but you know how Sony is, they're very selective. So it sort of leads to this like refund lottery that has the community in an uproar. Like, you could literally play the game and have it be unplayable for you, or at least akin to being unplayable, because there are crashes in the opening sections of the game, like in the tutorial in the first 6 minutes, and that's like terrible for a game. So of course you would want to refund that if you see bugs and issues like this. You don't want to wait for Bethesda to fix it like always. You want a polished game on launch. But of course, Sony being Sony, they don't always give you refunds. They don't have like an Xbox or a Steam level refund policy where it's pretty easy to get a refund if you could show that the game is terrible or if it's bugged on Xbox. But on Steam, you just need like under 2 hours of playtime. But this is PlayStation we're talking about. So they're very picky on giving out refunds, and it's leaving the community in an uproar. And on top of that, there's also an issue with the PSSR. So if you guys don't know what that is the PS5 Pro's AI upscaling. It's the PSSR 2, and it's reportedly clashing with Bethesda's Creation Engine 2, and it's causing artifacting and crashes in major hubs like New Atlantis, which is like the city in that game. So it's really just unstable. And of course, there's the Free Lanes irony. The massive April 2026 Free Lanes update really meant to allow seamless flights between planets. They thought it was going to be like No Man's Sky or something. And while it did improve on a lot of aspects of Starfield, you know, you got that cruise mode and something, but people are calling it Stutterfield now. I haven't had a problem on PC, but I've heard that on consoles it stutters like hell. People are calling it Stutterfield because on consoles it makes the space to ground transition a laggy mess. And Digital Foundry just called this the most technically regressive update in Bethesda history. Now think about that. We've waited 3 years for a port that crashes every 40 minutes because the engine can't handle its own features. And the reason why I'm so upset about this is because Bethesda never learns. And I mean never. They've had buggy launch after buggy launch after buggy launch after buggy launch, and it's like they never ever learn. And a lot of people don't know that even games like Skyrim came out in a horrible state. Games like Fallout 4, Fallout 76, and now Starfield. It's really terrible, and I feel like they should have learned by now, especially on a game that already came out. You would think that they would have all this time to polish it for consoles, especially how it works wonders. It works sort of well on Xbox. Well, not wonders, but it works well on Xbox. How would they fail this hard on PlayStation? And I just think that Starfield as a whole failed for Bethesda fans. Okay, now looking at it objectively, in my opinion, I like some parts of Starfield. I love some parts of Starfield. But just the thing is, we've had greatness in the past. We've had Oblivion, we had Skyrim, we had Fallout 4. You can see that was even good compared to Starfield, right? And I just think that because of Bethesda's track record, and I know they've always put out buggy games and stuff, but behind the bugs, there was always some good game behind it. You know, behind the bugs in Fallout, behind the bugs in Skyrim, they were good. You know, we've loved it, and we love Bethesda for a reason. But I just feel like behind the bugs and behind the glitches, the technical problems in Starfield is just an in general mediocre experience. So let me give some examples. So there's like an in-between problem. In Skyrim or say Fallout 4, the fun was the walk from point A to point B. In Starfield, point A and point B are separated by 3 loading screens and a fast travel menu. Like, I remember in Skyrim, you could explore everywhere. You could do whatever you want. There's no really loading screens other than entering cities, entering houses, or something like that. But like Starfield, this is what it is. Okay, I'm on a planet that is very empty, so I want to leave and go to a city. Okay, I gotta enter my ship, loading screen. I gotta go to the cockpit, loading screen. I gotta go to space, loading screen. I gotta go to the planet, loading screen. I gotta launch onto the planet, loading screen. There's too many loading screens. Oh, I know I'm exaggerating it, and I've been, stuttering and stuff because I just have so much passion that I don't want Bethesda to go down this path. I'm gonna be so mad if there aren't seamless transitions in Elder Scrolls 6. On top of that, Bethesda traded handcrafted environmental storytelling, like say finding a skeleton with a note in a bathtub, for 1,000 procedurally generated planets that feel like copy and pasted loneliness. Like, I mean, I'm walking and walking and walking, and there's nothing. And I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like Starfield has a lack of world reactivity. I haven't played it much, like a lot, but I played it enough to see that nothing really reacts around you. Say for instance in Skyrim, you could kill a king and change the tide of a civil war, and then the whole world changes. The Jarls change in every hold, the war ends, there's a lot of like battlefield mess and yada yada yada. In Starfield, it feels like you could just sort of be the leader of every faction, but the world still treats you as a generic dusty miner that the game starts you off as. In Fallout, you'd find a vault and spend 3 hours uncovering its dark secrets, but in Starfield, you find a cryo lab on one planet, then fly 10 light years away only to find the same cryo lab with the exact same enemies and the exact same loot in the exact same locker. That's not exploration, that's a chore. And on top of everything, modders are warning that the game's engine has hit a content ceiling where adding more DLC or mods causes the save file structure to collapse. So the point I want to make is Starfield isn't a bad game. It's just that it's a very, very mediocre game trapped in an engine that's screaming for help. If Bethesda couldn't fix the soul of this game in 3 years, a PS5 port was never going to be the miracle we wanted. Maybe it's time to stop looking at the stars and start wondering if Todd Howard and the team could find their way back to Earth for Elder Scrolls 6, because they're in outer space, they're in La La Land if they think that all this is acceptable. They're in La La Land if they think launching this on PS5 is acceptable. I mean, they had to have tested it. They had to have seen the issues that it has, right? They didn't just launch it and port it and do all that stuff like this. They didn't do it like that. They had to have tested it, but they're just putting it out for, I guess, quotas or something, want to make easy money. And I heard the sales weren't even good too. Like, they didn't even want it, man. The PlayStation fans didn't even want Starfield. I mean, it's been 3 years. If you really, really wanted to play Starfield, you would have got like a PC or a Xbox to play it. But I guess some people still wanted to try it because it is Bethesda and it is Elder Scrolls, and some people can't afford that. And no offense to you guys, but look at what we got. We got garbage. So, are you guys one of the PS5 players currently fighting for a refund, or are you actually enjoying the new update and the new DLCs despite the bugs? I want to hear your thoughts down below, so drop a comment and let me know your experience with Starfield on the PS5 if you guys played it, or just your experience with Starfield in general. I need to know if I'm the only one who feels like the settled systems are just, too empty. But anyways, that's just my take on it. Let me know what you guys think. If you like this video, please subscribe and enlist to join the Legion. We're almost there and we're growing fast, so I'd love to hear your thoughts and I'd love to hear your support, and comment down below if you're a Legionnaire. That's what I like to call my subs. And yeah, like, subscribe, and do all that stuff. You know what to do. Anyways, Thank you all for watching. Mr. Frosty Flames out. Ciao.